Hello ladies and gentlemen, and movie lovers of all kind, and welcome back to the channel. As always, I am your host, Brett Murphy, and for today's video, I have a brand new, short and sweet little ranking for you all, as I am going to be ranking the 3 Guardians of the Galaxy movies. So the long-awaited and highly anticipated Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 has finally landed in theaters everywhere. So I figured, why not celebrate and give the spotlight completely over to the Guardians for this one ranking. Fret not though, for those of you who follow my channel on the regular, a full MCU movie ranking is on the way. This is just a little teaser slash appetizer to ease us into things, plus that video will take a little bit longer to edit considering there's like 30 plus movies now. But rest assured, plenty of MCU content is on the way to celebrate this release. Before I hop into the actual ranking itself, I just wanted to let you all know that I have an entire playlist dedicated to all of my ranking videos. There are well over 100 videos currently on that playlist, so if rankings are your thing, then be sure to check that out, and I guarantee you'll find something you like. And so without further ado, let's hop right into things. Number 3. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Look, I'm gonna preface this by saying that I don't dislike a single one of the Guardians movies. It's not like it's the worst one, it's just my least favorite of the 3, but I don't even think it's like a mediocre or a good movie. I think this is a great, perhaps outright fantastic movie. I have rewatched it many times, and I have simply grown to love it. Why, you might ask? Simply because of the characters and how their arcs progress. Yes, that is what this movie executes on so very well, is the little character moments that I find often get overlooked. The pairings in this movie are simply superb. You have Peter Quill, aka Star-Lord, pairing with his long-lost father, and where all of that goes. You have Drax pairing with the newly introduced Mantis, and you find a lot in there about love and beauty, and learn more about Drax's backstory. You have Gamora and Nebula, and more about their sisterhood and their past as they come together, and also come together in terms of butting heads and a few big fun clashes. And then you have the pairing of Rocket, this little baby Groot, and Yondu, which is one that came way out of left field and is arguably my favorite pairing of the movie. There are some scenes in here that hit extremely hard and are phenomenally well written. And visually, this movie is stunning, truly breathtaking. And yes, of course, in particular, I do mean Ego the Living Freaking Planet, which I think is the biggest CGI creation to date, if I'm not mistaken, and that whole final battle is a lot of fun too. But arguably the biggest surprise of this entire movie was Michael Rooker's Yondu. This totally caught me off guard. The first movie, I like his little arrow thing. He has some cool scenes. He got a few chuckles out of me. That was all good and fun, but I did not expect this amount of depth to come from this character and such a sound performance from Michael Rooker. Yondu's death is one of the moments in the MCU that literally broke me. It was so well executed. I simply adored it. My only gripe with the movie is that I don't feel, again, that the stakes or the spectacle were really there, and I thought that the Sovereign were fine, but I do commend Gunn for actually tying them back into the third Guardians movie. Not to mention, this one also has an incredible soundtrack that rivals that of the first one. Number 2. Guardians of the Galaxy. Yep, so I'm gonna come out and address the elephant in the room up front and right away. This may be a bit controversial because I know many people personally that have the first Guardians movie as their favorite movie in the MCU. Guardians is a beloved movie, and for damn good reason. This movie is exceptional. It is very easily still a 10 out of 10 and a top 10 MCU movie. James Gunn was tasked with introducing a crew of relatively unknown misfit characters, especially if you weren't deep into comic book reading, and now you'd be hard-pressed to find anybody that's a casual moviegoer that doesn't know the name of all of the Guardians. That is insane. The movie truly took the world by storm. It made a killing at the box office, and it crushed reviews everywhere. People fell head over heels for this one, and I am no different. It delivers on the heart. It delivers, like I said with Guardians 2, this one delivers on the spectacle. It delivers on the stakes. I loved the big epic final battle. The comedy worked so well. None of it feels forced. all of the comedy feels very natural, it flows very well. But I think what this movie does best is bring all of these characters together who couldn't be more polar opposites of one another in a very organic and fluid way. None of it feels forced. It doesn't feel like things happen just to service the story and rush to the final battle or rush to these characters, becoming friends and stuff like that. No, all of it takes its time. It is well paced. It is superbly executed, and top to bottom, this is a marvelous movie. The visuals are spectacular. The performances were top notch. My only gripe with this movie, and that's something that very much so got addressed in Guardians 3, is Ronan the Accuser as our main villain. He's fine, he's just kind of the generic, serviceable foe. And of course, I cannot talk about this first Guardians of the Galaxy movie without addressing the wonderful soundtrack, which just so happens to be one of the best soundtracks in movie history. Number 1, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Now, look, I will be the first to say that I was definitely excited for this movie. I was really looking forward to it. But I in no way, shape, or form expected to love it this much. This movie not only delivered everything I was hoping for, it exceeded my every single expectation. I had no idea that I would be putting this movie above the first Guardians. You all have to understand how much I love the first Guardians movie. That movie hasn't budged in my rankings in a long time, and that's because it combined everything that I loved about the first Guardians and everything I loved about the second Guardians and took out everything that I didn't like about either one of them. This movie has good natural laughs. This movie has a ton of heart. This movie has the best performances of the Guardians trilogy and has among the best performances in the entire MCU. It goes to some fairly dark and unexpected places, but it's not just for the sake of shock value. It is all in service of this immaculate story. It also delivers on the big, fun battle scenes. It delivers on the visuals, as all three Guardians movies do, but it cleaned up the act because it brought in so many deep-cutting, hard-hitting character moments, but there is just so much to love. But it was also so personal. It was made with so much love and so much care, and you just feel that with every single scene and every single line. And then it also cleans up the thing I disliked about the first Guardians, which is the villain. Chukwudi Iwuji, I believe I'm pronouncing that right, but I'm likely not, as the High Evolutionary, is cracking the top 10 for the MCU villains, potentially the top 5. And this movie also turned me into a bawling, blubbering mess, which only 2 MCU movies have been able to do. This one in Avengers Endgame. So that should definitely tell you something on how good this one is and how emotional it is. And I truly feel I can't emphasize enough how special this ending is and how much it meant to me. If this is the last we see of any of the Guardians, I will have left satisfied. Each and every one of the Guardians get moments to shine, and they shine so bright. And where each individual arc leaves off, no one could have written it any better. Not the creators of the characters themselves. All of them have satisfying conclusions to their at least current arcs. But that doesn't take away from the fact that from the beginning of Guardians 1 to the end of Guardians 3, everything gets wrapped up in the nicest possible neat little bow. And again, it means so much to me, and all this movie does is just elevate the previous two. And no shocker here, but I'd be a fool to go without mentioning that this movie, once again, unsurprisingly, delivers an unforgettable soundtrack. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 blew me away, and it is my favorite of the trilogy. So that is all for today's video, folks. Be sure to let me know down in the comments if you agree or disagree with my ranking. While you're at it, don't forget to let me know how you would have ranked all 3 of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. If you're a movie lover whatsoever, then my channel is the place to be for you. Be it rankings like this one, top 10 videos, tier videos, versus videos, I have it all and so much more on the way. Seriously, a lot of big series are cooking up behind the scenes, and we are closing in on 800 videos currently on the channel for you to enjoy. So if you enjoyed this particular video, then be sure to hit that thumbs up button. It really helps me out. And if any of that sounds like it's right for you and you want to see more from me, then smash that subscribe button right now. While you're at it, don't forget to ring the little bell icon. That way you can be notified about all of my latest uploads. And as always, stay safe. Thank you so much for watching, and that's a wrap. Hey you, yeah you, if you made it this far, just know I appreciate you, and while you're here, consider hitting that subscribe button.